Lights, camera, action. Let's get into this. So I'm going to title this video, Don't Give Your Children Over to the Government. Don't give your youth to the government. I've told you they all are the same. I'm not picking on just one particular government because they all are the same. They all are cut from the same cloth, no pun intended. So I'm going to get right into some information, and I want you all to see a clear cut you can't dispute indisputable evidence of how they all are cut from the same cloth. So let me jump right into this information here and show you. So what are we looking at? We are looking at none other than pre construction, if you will, or may I say Nazi Germany's constitution before the fall of Hitler. So this is a constitution that was active, in place, and I need to say no more. It was active and it was in place before the Constitution. So what was the Constitution name? The Constitution of the German Reich, usually known as the Weimar Constitution, was the constitution that governed Germany from 1919 to 1945. Remember those dates, 1919 to 1945. They had all kinds of guaranteed rights, assembly of freedom of religion, press, etc. I'm going to say that all one more time. Rights of freedom of press, freedom of religion, they were all ignored. I'm telling you, this is why those constitutions they're not worth any more than the paper that they're written on. This might upset a lot of people, but it's time for people to wake up and smell the coffee, as they say. I mean, come on, y'all. How many of our rights and liberties have to be taken away before we realize that something ain't right about this? These people just do whatever they want to. I remember the very city I was born and raised in. I recall years ago when they voted on a certain area to be zoned a certain way, and they voted that they did not want this structure to be built. The people unanimously voted that they did not want the structure to be built. Guess what the people did? They built it anyway. They built it anyway. They built it anyway. They built it anyway. I'm telling you. I smile. This stuff is not funny, man. I guess I do it because it's unbelievable that people still have a belief in these systems when these systems have proven to us time and time again that they can give a damn about us. They can give a damn about us. So you might be saying, hey, what the hell you showing me something from Nazi Germany? Because Nazi Germany claimed that they had a constitution that was basically, it was for all the people. It was for equal. It was about liberty and things of that nature. And we know what they did. Again, this Constitution stood from 1919 to 1945. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to continue to show you who else had a Constitution. Let's look at some more information. Bam! Constitution of the USSR. The Stalin Constitution, adopted December the 5th, 1936. Article 125 of the Constitution guaranteed, once again, freedom of speech, of the press, and of the assembly. You can gather yourselves as much as you want to. You can be at liberty and be free to do whatever you want to. And you can basically report and talk about whatever you want to. All ignored. Go back in history. Look at what transpired during that time frame. They don't care. They don't care. Who else constitution are we going to look at that's pretty similar? The East German draft, Democratic Republic. We hear that term thrown around so loosely. You can't see it because of where I have, my image at the moment. I think I can move that though. I'm actually obviously almost certain. Nah, I can't move it right here. I can, but I know I can. As a matter of fact, let me help you out just a little bit. I apologize. Oh yeah, here it is. Nope, that ain't it. Yeah, it is. Remove blah 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 blah. Okay, nope. Let me try. I just want y'all to see it. Nope, that ain't it. That ain't it. Let me go back to that. Okay, I'm not looking at it. It's not appearing the way I want it to appear. Oh yeah, we're right here. There you can see it. There you can see it. Live and in color. Let me see. Basic law for the German Democratic Republic. Basic law. Basic law. Basic law that they just basically found the way to break it. You know what I'm saying? So you already know where this going. Any person know where this is going, right? Again, let's do a quick recap. The Constitution of the German Reich, usually known as a Weimar Constitution, Weimar Constitution. Man, I don't speak German, bro. I can speak a little Swahili, I can speak a little Spanish, and I do my best at English. And I'm actually learning a little Latin as well, but I don't speak German, so I apologize. But was the Constitution that governed Germany from 1919 to 1945, and it had all kinds of guarantees. Guarantees. Again, the Stalin Constitution. Jump back to the Stalin Constitution. Let me get over here. That's the German. That's the Nazi Germany Constitution. That's the Soviet Union, Stalin Constitution, yeah. And then we're just looking at East Germany Constitution. So you already know where this is going. You know where this is going. Don't this ring an alarm? Let me see if you can figure out what Constitution I'm reading from right now. The ideal, well, that's a little different. But this is in the Constitution, and this is how they actually drafted some things. And all this is, again, anybody that's familiar with the U.S. Constitution, they say freedom of the press, liberty to, basically share what you would like to share, freedom of the press, freedom to speak, freedom to do things of that nature. They all stay the same. These people can come crashing down and do what they will if you don't put 10 toes in the ground and say the buck stops here. We don't need you. We don't want you. And you're not of service to us. We don't need you, government. We don't want you, government. And your service is not to us. Basically, obviously, who came up with the idea that you owe up to half of your income to government and overt taxes, covert taxes, and inflation, all because of hundreds of years all because hundreds of years ago, a couple of dozen slave owners on a continent of 3 million people wrote down on a piece of paper that they alone get to make the rules for you. Even the U.S. government constantly ignores its Bill of Rights. So I'm telling you, do history. Do history. Think about where everything is potentially where they would like it to go, because I'm not even going to put that negative energy out there in the universe. But it's a trend. It's a trend. Again, I'm laying the foundation because the title of this video, do not give your youth over to the U.S. government. So let's jump into this. No, over to any government. I apologize. How dare I talk about a U.S. government? Over to any government. I'm not singling out just one government. So let me jump into a few things. So let's start with how we started this. Let's keep rocking. Why did I say the youth? The Hitler youth, the indoctrination of Germany. Now, many people will say, oh, yeah, I agree, man. Hitler was a bad person. He was crazy. He was doing this, that, and the third. But do you know the whole purpose of education when it comes to these infrastructures? Do you really know the whole purpose of education? Let me share something with you. Mandatory government schools employing the pursuing model of education. So let's dive a little deeper. I'm gonna do this on the spot because I know the research is so real. Let's jump into this on the spot. Excuse me. Pursuing, definition of pursuing as it relates to education system. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. I'm gonna let you see it for yourself, so I ain't grabbing things out of thin air. So, pursuing education defined. That's what I'm gonna do. Define. So let's take a look at it. Let me go ahead and screen share. Let me screen share so you can see what I'm doing. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take the picture. I'm gonna take it off me for just a moment. I definitely want you to see what I'm doing. The pursuing education system. The pursuing education system refers to the system of education established in Prussia as a result of educational reforms in the late 18th and early 19th century, which has widespread influence since. But let's see what it is by definition. Let's see what it is by definition. So we're gonna cross that out. I'm gonna even let you listen. Prussian. That's what they say. Prussian. Prussia, whatever. I told you I don't speak German. All right. So here it is. Relating to the former kingdom of Prussia, a native or inhabitant of Prussia. So when you talk about the pursuing education, you see how it's all falling under the same umbrella. Go to our reliable Wikipedia. Refers to the system of education established in Prussia as a result of educational reforms in the late 18th century. We already read that. You're looking at the basic founders. So you see who are the founders of this. Now, what I want you to pay close attention to is origin is in Germany, right? Now, what I want you to pay close attention of, this is why you have to be a student of history, because they will actually tell you one thing, but history states another. What am I speaking of? Consistently, we hear about how historically that the Germans supposedly came up with this ideology, but what many don't know, Hitler got game from America. Oh yeah, I'm about to show it to you. I'm about to show you how Hitler got his game from America. The whole function of education, this is coming out of the mouths of Nazi Germany and Bernhard Russ, Minister of Education in Nazi Germany. The whole function of education is to create Nazis. Bernhard Russ, Minister of Education in Nazi Germany. He alone who owns the youth gains the future. That's Adolf Hitler during the same era. Again, he alone who owns the youth gains the future. That's why I said I know what I titled this video when I titled this video. I wasn't sleeping on the job. Don't give your youth over to the government. Let's go with the Soviet Union. Education is a weapon whose effect depends on who holds it in his hands and at whom it is aimed. That's by Joseph Stalin. You want to see this stuff? You think I'm just capping? Joseph Stalin. I know I got to show you something. Joseph Stalin on education. So y'all can look it up yourself. But Joseph Stalin, bam, there it is, right there, live and in color. Joseph Stalin, education is a weapon whose effect depends on who holds it. And let me slow down. Education is a weapon whose effect depends on who holds it in his hand and at whom it is aimed. I told you, man, I ain't playing around, y'all. I ain't playing around. I'm coming with these receipts. I want everybody to see what I'm seeing. The education of all children from the moment that they can get along. That's why you know why I call myself what I call myself. Let me say it again. The education of all children from the moment that they can get along without a mother's care shall be in state institutions. That's by Karl Marx. I'm not going to put everybody quote up here. Do yourself a favor and read for yourself. Do some due diligence. East Germany, when children entered their classrooms at the beginning of each day, almost every teacher would ask the pupils, "Si bere, are you willing?" That's what it means, which was responded by "Immer bereit." always prepared. Every class had a class council with a sitting president and a vice president who indoctrinated and habituated their fellow students into statism. If you don't know what statism is, I'm going to give you a quick, I ain't even going to say crash course, but I'm going to definitely let you look at the definition, and then I may pull up a couple of other things in terms of a political system in which the state has substantial centralized control over social and economic affairs. Let me tell y'all what, we can scream that we in the land of the free. I don't care where you are in the world that you want to proclaim that, but essentially we all unfortunately have entered into an era of statism. You better go back and look at Event 201. I keep talking about it. I want y'all to see this information. So I read you Nazi Germany government mandates. I read Soviet Union. I read East Germany. Whose else is left that I want to bring home? Because I'm going to tell you, if the land of the quote unquote free is proclaiming to be free, but they sound so identical to those that we know were not free, then we got to look at things for what they really are. The U.S. government's mandatory schools adopted the Bellamy Nazi salute. Do you know what the Bellamy Nazi salute is? They actually were doing this in the early 1940s, hence before Hitler fell. So what I want you all to see is that they were doing all these things well before Hitler. I told you, you do history. Hitler got his game from America. I say it again, Hitler got his game from America. So at which points the crimes of the National Socialist Nazi Party in Germany became apparent. That's what they do. They actually do certain things. They're going to do it one or the other. They're either going to start it because they've stole the ideology, the concept from somewhere else. And then when they discard it, they demonize others that are now doing it. Or like they did with Sweet Africa, they'll take what Africa is doing, they learn its ways, they demonize it, and then they pick up and they learn and they see how they can incorporate those truths, etc. Diet injections and injunctions, schooling ed. It's what became basically school 101. Again, diet injections and injunctions will combine from a very early age to produce the sort of character and the sort of beliefs that the authorities consider desirable, and in any serious criticism of the powers that be will become psychologically impossible. And that's by Bertrand Russell, Fabian Socialist of Eugenics, right in The Impact of Science of Society, 1953. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw that up there for y'all. I'm going to throw that up there for y'all so you can kind of see it. Like I said, I'm not going to do everything, but some things as I feel necessary, I'm just going to throw it up there so you can kind of take a good look at it. Scholarly articles of the impact science of society. I told you Bertrand Russell. I just told you who it was. I just told you who I was. That's Amazon. I ain't even know what link I clicked. But that's a good thing. There's the book. Pick up the book and read. It ain't nothing but $40, you know. You may even be able to find it for less than that. A lot of times if it's used, a lot of times people don't even like books these days. They prefer to have it on Kindle. You know, put it on Kindle. It has a very high rating, as you can see. That's basically, what's that, 5 stars basically, 4.5. But pick it up, The Impact of Science on Society. So, you know, let's go ahead and back it up a little. I wanted you all to take a look at that, and bam, the Hitler Youth and Indoctrination of Germany. So I just showed you clearly what they were doing during that era, as we all know. But did we know that the apple don't fall too far from the tree? This is Russia. Russia actually called this same the same salute, if you will. I have to find in my notes. I ain't gonna sit up here and pull your leg. But this is Russia. I'm telling you, I'm reading out all their constitutions, and this is how they were moving. the Young Russian or whatever it's called. I forgot. This is Young East Germany. I mean, this is just so gangster right here. I had to show you this. This is crazy. You know what? Like, really? This is crazy. But this is what they do, and they get the youth. They already. I just told you why they want the youth. You already know where I'm going. You already know where I'm going. So you have Hitler Youth. You have Hitler Youth. You have the Kamasomo. Man, I'm gonna learn something myself right now because I don't even know how to pronounce that. So let's just go to Wikipedia real fast. Let's go to Wikipedia real fast. I read this, but obviously, since I'm since I'm under the microscope, I at least gotta get the correct pronunciation of this. Excuse me. I'm doing my best to get this together for y'all, man. I want to see if they got a microphone. So let me go to my screen sharing and show you what I'm looking at real quick. Hold on. I should just be able to. I don't want to stop the sharing. I did stop it. Okay. I shouldn't have to do all that though. I should be able to, but it's all good. Well, what I just wanted to do is show you exactly what I'm looking at on monitor one, screen one. But it's all good. Oh no, that's terrible. That's too much going on. We ain't gonna do that. We gonna stop sharing screen on that. We gonna stop that. I'll just slide it over. My apologies. So let me just slide this over for the moment, and I back it out when it's time to back it out. But check this out. This is some buffoonery right here. But this is how they roll. This is how they roll. Yeah, we're gonna share screen. Yeah, we're gonna do all that. 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 Got it. Bam, bam, bam. So look, my beautiful people. That's the pronunciation. That's the name of this organization. So let me tell you what this organization was about. I wish I could pronounce it and I had a little microphone. But anyway, you read it yourself. You pronounce it how you want to. Consomo is what I'm going to call it today. Consomo included indoctrination through social work and sport, communal living, read Christings and books and cinema. In addition to taking part in various military physical education drills, children were also required to have the ability to assemble and disassemble an AK-47 in 30 seconds. Now, again, this is Hitler's youth. That was the Soviet Union youth. This is Hitler's youth. It's all the same. Ain't this weird, y'all? This is scary in a sense of what they've been doing with the wool pulled over everybody's eyes. Hitler created the Hitler Youth because, as he believed, the weak must be chiseled away. I want young men and women who can suffer pain. Part of the boys' training was to be part of their military athletics, included marching, drills, grenade throwing. You letting children throw grenades? Just, good gracious. All right. Trench digging, map reading, gas defense, use of dugouts, how to get under barbed wire, and pistol shooting. I can get with the pistol shooting. I can get with the how to get under barbed wire. Let children throw grenades. Those parents were obviously brainwashed to let their children go and do that. It was no hope for the children because you know the parents was gone. Who in their right mind say, hey, yeah, my son's going to the youth camp today, and they're going to teach him how to throw grenades. What? You know what I'm saying? But, man, religion and all forms of indoctrination, you no longer know how to consistently add 1 and 1 and consistently get 2. Your computing senses are just haywire. Boy Scouts of America Explorer program is now working with the Department of Homeland Security. They get them and they pass them through this government entitlement. Now, everybody in their right mind at this point, notice I said in their right mind, will agree that Homeland Security, well, not even specifically Homeland Security, I'm just speaking of 9/11. They will admit that that was an inside job. It ain't what they said it was. Okay. So you have them working with Homeland Security. What they're doing is subconsciously manipulating them to not question authority and to be obedient blindly. The U.S. military, individual police forces. So that comes to another point. You got so many of these movements that are talking about Black Lives Matter, talking about, why do people get treated like this? It's because the training starts in the youth. These people are subliminally and subconsciously, but intentionally taught not to use critical thinking and only take orders. And what the way they're taught in their training comes to manifestation when they're live. And that's in terms of when the situation is real. And that's just how it goes. So basically, I could read. I'm not gonna butcher or not necessarily butcher. I'm not gonna bore you with all the reading. So let's just get out of that, because really, what I want to show you is that what I started with. You got the Russian youth. You have the young. I forgot what they call them over here. I lost my page. My page is flipped. You have the Free German Youth Movement. That's these cats right here that's looking real crazy. And then obviously, look at that. They were practicing this in 1940, the Bellamy Nazi salute. In 1940, do not give your... And look at this teacher at a Catholic school caught on video doing Nazi salute and students laugh. But they don't even know this is a part of their less than a century old history. Man, I'm telling you, like, these people come for your head. Look at all these images. All these images of the Bellamy salute in U.S. school systems. Look at these children. These children are like, man, daddy and mommy, what the hell is going on? Y'all actually sent us away from school for this foolishness. Again, I love that they have these teachers in these pictures, because again, this shows, this highlights that these teachers ain't got no more goddamn motherfucking critical thinking, no more than the children. At least the children got some form of an excuse in terms of just the intentional brainwashing. These teachers, and this is a clear illustration of what they want. They want you to get it at this age. I just highlight the young lady. They want the young girl. They want you to get it at this age so you can grow into being it at this age. I gotta say it again. They want you to get it at this age so you can grow into being like that at this age. Yeah, I'm coming for all of them. I'm telling you, do not give your youth to the government. Don't send your children to the Boy Scouts. Man, they are planning things in your children's mind far beyond what you can even conceive, because there is an agenda that goes well beyond your imagination that they have in place. Again, I have more images for you. Those are the images. Here are the images. So again, I'm right at about 29 minutes. I'm going to wrap this up, but I just wanted you all to see this stuff. Youth programs to militarize children. These are a subset of the main program, Explorers in the U.S. Boy Scouts, in which some children are militarized and indoctrinated to accept hierarchical command and control, more obedience to authority, military training, flag worship, pride of uniform, and obedience to federal authorities, among other submissive qualities. Every branch of the military has its own military explorer program, and a reported 500,000 kids participate in explorers, JROTC, Young Marines, and DoD Starbase. Law enforcement explorers condition kids starting in sixth grade into accepting government monopoly policing with ride-alongs, meetings, and uniforms. In 2001, it was reported that there were almost 2,000 posts and 32,000 14 to 21-year-olds, participate. We know what happened in 2001. A lot of these things are staged so they can further indoctrinate the masses. From my review of the curriculum, there is no discussion on the morality of incarcerating overwhelmingly peaceful people for victimless crimes, the for-profit prison system, or living off money stolen at the profit of a gun. Federal and military involvement includes academy programs run by the FBI, DEA, Secret Service, Border Patrol, and military police. A 2011 LA Weekly investigation revealed that the Law Enforcement Explorer program alone had over 100 incidents of participating police officers engaging in sex with participants, with the overwhelming majority being underage. They evil and they always doing something they ain't got no doggone business doing. I can go on and on. Flag worship, how it's all wrapped up in the Cub Scouts. It's all wrapped up in Hitler's Youth. It's all wrapped up in the merit badges that they provide. All this stuff is to get your children at a young age. Do not give your children to the government. Do not turn your youth over to the government. Anti-government. They want to be in your business. They want to dictate your life. We should not have to show any documentation to travel. But see, they've brainwashed. They've staged so many events that now they've coerced and manipulated situations to the point where they're like, no, you need this for your safety. Anytime you have an entity telling you that they need to put something in place for your safety, you better believe it's everything but for your safety. You see what they're doing to the young children as they get a hold to them. They take advantage of them. And you can find this just about on every platform, and how it's always something going on with them taking indecent liberties. I don't even want to say liberties, but they taking advantage of children in so many cases when they have these children. So it's just, look, I don't do this stuff for fun. I do this stuff because this stuff needs to be highlighted. It needs to be emphasized. It needs to be shed light on the subject matters so we can make the right decisions. We got to get away from these oppressive governments, all of them, because they don't have our best interests in mind. Mandatory government schools employing the Prussian model of education. Such schools were developed specifically and openly to indoctrinate obedience and honor to the king, country, and government. The new education must consist essentially in this, that it completely destroys freedom of will in the soul, which it undertakes to cultivate, and produces, on the contrary, strict necessity in the decisions of the will, the opposite being impossible. And that's exactly what they do. All they want to do is give you more laws, implement more laws, which first and foremost, for the most part, we wouldn't even think of breaking, because humans by nature are upstanding people. I will just continue to live by that. I believe in humanity. I believe in the betterment of humanity. I believe in the good of humanity. Fuck all this other stuff they talking about. The only reason why people are so dumbed down is because of what they intentionally put into the food in the school systems. They have three phases. of this mandatory government schooling: statism, obedience, and debilitation. Wow, I apologize. I'm a little tired. It's been long, but debilitation. Mandatory mercury and aluminum laced vaccines, ADD/ADHD medications, fluoride water in the water fountain, and glyphosate, soap, and GMO garbage food in the cafeteria. They've done this to totally take control over all the people and totally numb them down so they don't critically think. And by not critically thinking, you fall into a stupor, needless to say. It's so many things that I can touch on, but again, I wanted you all to just see some of this information for what it is. The Constitution of the USSR, the Constitution of East Germany, here it is. The Constitution of, obviously, Nazi Germany, and just all of these being one and the same. They're all one and the same. Who would have thought it? Who would have thought it? Who would have thought it? Do not give your children over to any form of government. Teach your children at home, y'all. Teach your children at home. Get y'all children out of these wicked establishments. Look, that's all for today. Peace. I may have went a little longer than I intended to. I mean, the information get good, and hopefully you're enjoying it. Catch you on the next one.